IGCSE Maths can come off as quite challenging at times, but if studied the right way, it's completely possible to achieve perfection in it. Not sure how to go about this? Don't worry, you're in the right place to find out. My name is Aryan. I'm a world topper in both IGCSE Mathematics and IGCSE Additional Mathematics, meaning that I had a full score of 100% on both the exams. And here's my complete guide to getting an A-star in IGCSE Mathematics. There are generally 3 things to keep in mind whenever revising or learning any IGCSE subject. These are, number 1, learning the subject, as in when you initially learn the concepts and the topics. Number 2, revising the subject, which is when you revise and practice the subject in the lead up to your final exam day. And third, exam day preparation, which is what you do on the day before and on the actual day of the exam. Let's take a look at preparation or learning. I actually made a full video on 3 things to keep in mind whenever studying IGCSE Mathematics, so I'll leave a link to that in the description down below if you're interested in seeing it. Anyways, the effectiveness of your preparation comes down to just one thing, which is conceptual understanding. Focus on learning concepts rather than memorizing specific methods. Try to understand the underlying principles and concepts that go in whenever you apply a certain method. For example, instead of just memorizing how to convert a recurring decimal to a fraction, try to instead learn how your method works as opposed to just the steps. Understanding what each method that you're applying is actually doing conceptually will help you perform better at cross-topic questions. When learning concepts, there's a lot of different resources which you can use. Don't underestimate your textbook. It's an incredibly useful resource for theory, examples, and practice problems. Your textbook will cover each individual type of question in a way that no other resource will be able to. There's plenty of online resources which you can use as well. Znotes has excellent concise revision notes, Save My Exams has topical questions that are grouped by difficulty, and Khan Academy has video lectures which are very in-depth, thorough, and which you can use to initially understand the topics. There's also a lot more which I haven't mentioned, but I'll leave a video linked in the description down below to a lot of useful online study resources which you can use for IGCSEs and A-levels. Make sure to take full advantage of all the resources that are available to you, both in person and online, and make sure to have an effective study schedule. Once again, I'll also have a video link down below on how to create the perfect study schedule for your exams. As for revision, doing past papers is by far the best way to revise IGCSE Mathematics. Doing as many past papers as possible will help you get an idea of solving questions in the exact way that they will be presented to you in your exam, and will also help you get an idea of how the papers are actually structured. Make sure to time yourself when you're doing past papers. If you time yourself while you're practicing, you'll be less likely to be short on time when you're solving your actual final exam. Also, get really good and really fast at using your calculator. This will help speed you up significantly. For example, some calculators will let you directly find the roots of a quadratic equation by directly putting the coefficients of a, b, and c into your calculator display. Some will let you find the value of a function's differentiation at a point, and others will let you directly solve simultaneous equations, and so on. Going through all the menus of your calculator or reading a manual of it that you can find online will help you discover all of its different features and how they can be useful to you when you're giving your exam. Also, while you're solving practice papers, make a practice to continually note down any topics that you may be having difficulty with. Read your textbook's explanation of these topics again, and then try solving more questions. By addressing any weak points early on in the cycle of doing past papers, you'll minimize the chances of coming across a question which you don't know how to solve in your exam. Also, a good exercise to do when doing past papers is to maintain a record of every different type of question that you encounter while doing IGCSE Mathematics papers. Something to note about IGCSE Mathematics papers is that they fundamentally lack creativity. All the papers have the same kinds of questions that are just being shuffled around with just some numbers or details changing across the years. Do this. Make a spreadsheet, a notebook, or a diary which you dedicate to noting down all the different kinds of questions that you find while doing your papers. Whenever you encounter a question that makes you use a method or thinking style or approach which you haven't had to use in another question before, note it down in this notebook, diary, or spreadsheet. Also, make sure to include a brief summary of the line of thinking which you used so that you can use it as a reference on the day before your exam. Look, I get it, this stuff might seem useless. You might be inclined to go, nah, I'll just solve questions. Why do I need to write this stuff down? But trust me, taking a little bit of time out of your schedule to do exercises like these will save a lot of time when you're actually coming to your final day revision. Speaking of final day, there's actually a few things that you need to keep in mind when you're giving your final exam paper. One of the first pieces of advice that I give to anyone that asks me for tips on how to give their exam is to use the 2-pass approach. By this, I mean that you go through your entire paper solving questions twice in 2 different passes, hence the name. In the first pass, you solve all the questions where the answer is immediately apparent to you. If you can directly see the answer to a question, or you can see a correct line or way of thinking that will get you to the answer, solve the question then and there. If you don't know how to solve a question, or you think it'll need some more time spent on it thinking or brainstorming concepts or brainstorming how to get to the answer, skip it. Even if you start a question but find yourself stuck at a step somewhere halfway through, leave it, move on to the next question. Just try to get to as many final answers as you can during this first pass. This will help you get all of the easier questions and the questions which you're good at out of the way as quickly as possible, giving you more time to focus on the harder or more time-consuming questions in your second pass. In the second pass, go back and solve these questions. Focus on trying to get to as many correct final answers as possible. A few questions that have been completely solved out and brought to a final answer will probably earn you more marks than a lot of incomplete, half-solved ones. Also, learn to effectively check your paper. Figure out how to identify additional routes to solving a problem once you've gotten the answer the first time around. One of my favorite examples of this is questions which require you to use the circle theorems to find an angle. There are usually 2 or more different ways to get from one angle to the value of another by using different theorems or by drawing your own lines and your own reference angles. Similarly, for 3D trigonometry problems, you can also typically find multiple different ways to get from one angle or one side length to another. Use this property of these types of questions to your advantage. To get used to identifying these alternative solution methods, as usual, read as many mark schemes as possible. The mark schemes typically contain multiple different ways to solve the same calculation-based questions, and reading the answers that have been outlined in these can help you train your mind to think in a variety of different ways when you look at the same kind of question. Also, get used to looking at the number of marks that each question is worth before you solve it. There are 2 main advantages to this. Number 1, it lets you know how much time you should be spending on the question. For example, if you see that a question is only worth 1 mark but you can't identify a way to directly solve it and think that you might have to spend 5 to 6 minutes on it trying to identify a route to the correct solution, you should be able to identify that, yeah, I should probably skip this question and come back to this 1 marker if I have time left at the end, because it's evidently not worth spending 5 to 6 minutes on. Second, it lets you know if you're on track to finding the right solution to a question. For example, if you're doing a circle theorems question which is worth 2 marks, but you're finding that you're using some incredibly convoluted method to reach the final answer where you draw your own lines and establish your own angles and use the relations between those to get to your right answer, you should know that you're probably doing something wrong, since they probably won't ask you to do that much work just to get 2 marks. This is a good point where you should stop, take a moment and reevaluate everything that you've done to see if you might have missed out on any potential solutions that can get there within the amount of effort required for a 2-mark question. On the other hand, if you see a 5 or 6 mark question that requires you to take that same convoluted method, then yeah, you should know it's probably not possible to solve it in a simpler way, and it makes sense for you to apply that method since it will earn you 5 or 6 marks, and that is probably what they're expecting you to do as well. Alright, so that's my complete guide to getting an A-star in IGCSE Mathematics as someone that got a 100 on the subject myself. I've got a lot of other content on IGCSE Mathematics also on my channel. Feel free to go through my channel page and go through these videos. A lot of them are really helpful and cover a lot of more in-depth things that I might not have been able to put into this one singular video. As usual, if you found any of the advice that I gave you in this video helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an upload. And hey, if you have any questions, want to ask me for specific tips or tricks, or want to discuss your own IGCSE success stories, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Anyways, that's all for today. I'm out and thank you very much for watching.